You're listening to Never Heard of It, a Night Shift Radio production. Yeah.
So you may have noticed I have a range of motion here.
Yeah. Oh, this is your cool new thing you were talking about.
I ordered a stool for my desk.
Yeah.
It's a Fully brand, and this episode is not brought to you by Fully, but it could be.
But it could be.
The TikTok stool.
Oh.
So
it does a dance while it.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does a dance to a popular song, or it gives me a humorous quick cut edit of it arguing with itself.
That being said, follow Night Shift Radio on TikTok at Night Shift Radio. Go ahead.
That's true. No, it's designed to rock back and forth. It's meant for the concept that they call active sitting. So you engage your core, your core.
Yeah,
while you're sitting.
It's your core, bro.
I find it fun. It's the only problem that I have with it. It's a little on the short side, so I can't. My ideal for a stool at a sit-stand desk would be I can leave the desk in the same position and just either sit or stand. And this I can't do. So I'm looking at possibly an alternative. Ellen also really likes this stool, and it's the right height for her. So we might get a different one. But the one that I'm looking at is from the same company, but it has a rounded base, so it would just kind of rock all directions.
Gotcha.
But my favorite part about this so far was actually a little sticker on the packaging that said, "Be mindful, never tick more than you can talk."
That is pretty phenomenal.
And last night when I was playing on my new bass for a while, I almost fell out of the stool a couple times because I lost my balance. And then while recording this raucous episode, there was a few times where I ticked just a little too far and got a little nervous. So I said if I continue to use this stool or any similar one while recording episodes, I'm going to have to be very careful to not fall out of it.
Very careful. That is phenomenal. But we're not here to talk about the Fully stool until they pay us to do so. So until then, hello and welcome to the Never Heard of It podcast trailer edition. I'm your host, Michael Veit.
And I am Caleb Subplot Coy. Because this movie has several.
It has several. So we are here to talk to you about our upcoming episode on the movie Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which will be the kickoff to yet another listener request month. So we're doing a whole month long of listener requests. And Caleb, if someone wanted to submit another listener request so we could just keep this snowball rolling in March, where would they do that?
Well, conveniently, if you were over on thenahoit.com, you would see that we not only have the list of the episodes that are upcoming, where you can get links to trailers and where the movies are streaming if available, but just below that, you'll see that we have a contact form, and you can reach out to us through that contact form and tell us what movies you want to see, and we'll keep this train rolling. We're into that. But Michael, isn't there someplace else that they could reach out to us if they wanted?
Yeah, in fact, just recently, and for several movies in the past, we have gotten people tweeting at us, either tagging us in a trailer they see, or just directly tweeting at us and be like, "Yo, you should totally cover this movie." You can do so on our Twitter account, which is the Nahoit Podcast. That's the NHOIT Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram. Really great place to like I said, tweet at us, tell us that stuff is happening, tell us there's a movie you really think we should be watching, and we'll check it out. So actually, let's see if I can scroll back long enough. Yeah, so somebody recommended that we do the movie Psycho Gorman, which just came out last year. Looks pretty intense, but they think it would be in line with something we were doing. So maybe we'll do that one in March.
Psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
I like songs. Echo and the Bunnymen, right? Is that who that was? Who was that?
Of course, as soon as you,
it's gone.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna Talking Heads.
Talking. Oh, duh, idiot. Yes, such
like,
an idiot.
as soon as you ask, it just like brain just blanked. I'm like, I knew
It's
it.
like, I'm not going to tell you a secret. But yeah, so we're here to tell you about our upcoming episode about the movie Hard Ticket to Hawaii, which is part of the grander Andy Sidaris cinematic universe.
Oh my
And
God.
it is the
Today I
Andy
learned.
Sidaris, the Sidaris Cinematic Universe, or SCU for short. And so this film and all of Andy Sidaris, most of Andy Sidaris's films are available streaming for free on Tubi TV, as well as I believe Amazon Prime has them as well. But we watch them on Tubi TV. So content warning, lots of topless nudity. Lots of sexual talk and sexual, implied sexuality, a few swear words, and there is some typical 90s action movie violence, gunshots, stab wounds, that sort of thing, but very fake looking blood.
Rocket launchers.
Hell yeah, son. But yeah, so that's our upcoming episode, and I will say, so
There's
not only there's a snake, the slippery snake. So not only did this episode go slightly longer than our typical episodes by about 5 to 7 minutes, it is probably, as Caleb mentioned, our most ruckus filled episode to date. Now, of course, for those of you that have subscribed, thank you very much. You probably noticed that a couple of days ago we did a bonus episode with our first Night Shift Radio crossover event, first but not last crossover event, in which we did Set Condition 1's Battlestar Galactica Razor. And that was Caleb. What did Andrea say that it was like while she was editing it?
I think she said something to the effect of like kids at a sleepover.
That sounds about right. There's like 4 of us, and it was just, oh boy.
Yeah. So we did it. We had some fun with the format. We started the episode over on Set Condition 1 as a regular Tuesday evening or Tuesday morning episode, and Michael joined us on that show. If you're not familiar, Set Condition 1 is our Night Shift Radio co-host Kitsy and Andrea as we watch through Battlestar Galactica, the 2004 series, one episode at a time. Andrea has never seen the show at all, so she's experiencing it for the first time. Kitsy and I are long-term fans, but none of us had seen the feature-length episode Razor, and so we decided to bring in Michael, who was also experiencing the show for the first time, although I think you're pretty much done at this point.
I have 2 episodes left.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And when we reached the end of the first half of the episode, we brought it over here to Never Heard of It, and flipped the script and did it total Nahoit style, which is excellent because we filmed it. We recorded that episode on Inauguration Day, and for anyone who wasn't intimately familiar with how my day went that day, I popped a bottle of sparkling wine when Biden gave his oath, and did not stop drinking until probably somewhere like halfway through recording. So this was like 11 a.m. through like 9 p.m. Central.
That is, and so the other thing about it is that while you listen to this episode, to that episode of Razor, both the first part over on Set Condition 1 and then the second part on Never Heard of It, I do want to point out that all 4 of us are literally the management division of Night Shift Radio. So like, Caleb, myself, and Kitsy are directors. Andrea is our manager of marketing and stuff like that. And this is exactly how our meetings go. So, like, can you imagine how long our meetings end up going 2 hours because we spend an hour and a half literally doing this kind of bullshit, and then eventually we go back and we're like, oh wait, hang on, we need to recap the numbers for January. Let's go back. Like that is every Night Shift Radio meeting. Like you just heard them, minus all the actual meeting parts.
It was particularly fun for me because I have to keep things in line on the track, so to speak, with Set Condition 1. That's my responsibility because that show gets off the rails really easily with the 3 of us. But when we flipped over to Never Heard of It, that's your job.
That's mine.
All of the responsibility was lifted off of me.
So you only had to do the first, and you were dad on Saturday. I was the dad on the Sunday, and that's how we did it. He's like, your kid now. By the way, I just gave him a bunch of Oreos. Have fun. Oreos and pixie sticks for breakfast. Here,
Yep.
take the kids. I'm done.
It was great.
It was great. It was a great episode. Very, very funny. So definitely check that out. More specifically, start watching Battlestar Galactica. Go back through and listen to Second Edition 1. It's great as someone who started watching episode with episode with along and then just shot ahead. It's actually great to go back and listen to them after having seen the episode and being so far. To hear things like Andrea predicting people, like when she starts talking about like, oh, I bet you this person's a Cylon. She's like, or this person's not a Cylon. And it's really great to like know the outcome of everything and hear her talk about it like for the first time. So like, I can't imagine how you and Kitsy feel, but like, having known everything, but it's been really cool. And going back and being like, oh yeah, I totally forgot like this one thing. But yeah, so that being said, yes. So check out our bonus episode, subscribe and check out our future episode on this Sunday. And, again, thanks so much for subscribing. You'll be the first to notice that the episode is live to the public. But if you wanted to know well in advance about our episodes, if you actually went to patreon.com/nightshiftradio, there's also a link down below in our show notes. You could actually subscribe to our Patreon, and this is a Patreon for all of Night Shift Radio. So you'll get bonuses from every one of our 8 shows and some exclusive content and behind the scenes looks at our 2 upcoming projects, which are not podcast, very, very big productions. And you'll kind of get the inside scoop on a lot of them, as well as other content and stuff like that. So definitely check those out. Patreon.com/nightshiftradio. We, mega support this, mega appreciate their support. It literally will keep this train a running for all 8 podcasts. So we would love that if you could do that, if you're able to. And if not, just tweet it out or tell a friend. That's just as effective to me. That's just as valuable to me than as subscribing to the Patreon as you just telling a friend to listen to one of our shows. So either works. Support's free in all of those in that half, and supports dollars in the other half, or just buy Dogecoin for us all. That's a thing, or GameStop stock.
Start a Night Shift Media Group Dogecoin account.
Dogecoin, yeah, that's fine. It'll work. So anyway, so thanks a lot for joining us for this trailer episode, and we will see you Sunday.
Yes, we will.